When's the last time that you let your heart decide? With Venus entering Leo, we are being asked to allow our heart space to radiate and illuminate the pathway forward. With Venus leaving the cardinal waters of Cancer and entering the fixed flames of Leo, we are being asked to come out of our shells romantically, aesthetically, creatively, socially, to allow what sets our heart on fire to be visible, be seen, to be perceived, which may not have felt safe a couple days ago with Venus in Cancer. Now it's a time to put yourself out there and to know doing just that is a risk. Venus is the star of the show this week, with Venus trining Saturn, trining Neptune, sextiling Uranus, and opposing Pluto. And that's where we get into the risk of it all. It is a risk to create boldly and authentically, because oftentimes you creating does attract hater energy, which can be the opposition to Pluto. It could be a risk to fall in love deeply and to have to surrender control of the future. It could be a risk to try something new, fashion-wise or style-wise. It's a risk to exist, really. And Venus in Leo asks how it is that you are decorating your life. This life is your own. How are you decorating it? By creating the art that you love, by dressing in the ways that you love, by building a life surrounded by people that you love, by designing a life that you love. Honoring and understanding, not everybody will understand it, not everybody will get it, and there is a risk to carving your own path. There is a risk to being your own person. There is a risk around putting yourself out there. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun implies shade. You cannot shine in whichever dimension without attracting some shade your way. And I'm not saying that this week's astrology is about haters lurking around every single corner. It's just shining even despite that. Because sometimes we're so fearful of judgment or even fear of the future around what if I try it and then it flops? What if it doesn't work out? That we allow the present moment and its joy and the love for creating and expressing, we allow that to be squandered. We're so scared to be judged or for something to fail that we forget to try, that we forget to really plunge into the present moment and to create, to express unabashedly, boldly, authentically. And to know that doing just that, having fun, celebrating life, expressing yourself, wearing bold colors if you want, creating weird art if you want, knowing that doing just that will attract people who think you're cringe or think that you're doing too much. But the question really is, are they doing enough? And it's knowing that it's your life to decorate. And it is too precious and finite of an experience to squander one more moment worrying about what other people think, or even allowing the joy of the moment to be siphoned by fear of the future is also indicative by Venus in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto energy can be quite existential. And it's important to know that when it's time to go, it is your time to go. And Venus in Leo asks us to celebrate each moment as it is occurring, to live for yourself, to live from your heart, to create the art that you want, dress how you want, pursue the love relationships that you want because it is your life. And when it is time for all of us to go, we want to do so without any regrets. Venus in Leo asks us to love out loud and live out loud. This is your play. This is your stage. Decorate it, live it, seize it, play. You know, here in the US next week, we have Labor Day, which is kind of like the official wind down to summer, even though astrologically summertime in the Northern Hemisphere does not end until the sun ingresses into Libra. But there is a feeling of this week around the last week of summer and just wanting to celebrate, wanting to go to the beach, wanting to make a big meal just cause, wanting to wear heels when you do your tasks, just because it's your life to live, your life to decorate. You are too hot to be living a lukewarm life. Your life should be surrounded by things that you are a hell yes about. Not a, or I should. You deserve things that are a hell yes. This is a week to find your hell yes. Romance is favored here. Creativity is favored here. Even financial decisions, we'll get into it, are favored here. But most of all, what's the most favored is reclaiming that this is your life. You deserve to have fun. You deserve to pursue what it is that you're passionate about. And you deserve to make your life a work of art. There is an energy this week to really envision and to look out at the future through the lens of what could be, of what could exist. We see this with Uranus in Gemini, sextile Neptune in Aries. Now, sextiles are a very soft flow of energy. It's an opportunity aspect. If you watch Magic Monday, you remember me talking about the prior outer planet sextile earlier this month of Saturn in Aries, sextile Uranus in Gemini. And as I highlighted then, sextiles are Play-Doh, so to speak. You could use the Play-Doh to build something beautiful, to build a sculpture. It's not a guarantee. You could just have a blob that you're playing with. And so it gives us the opportunity to mold something, to create something. And I would say with Uranus and Neptune meeting up, to envision new possibilities for your future. There's a strong nudge this week to be very in the present moment and casting visions towards the future. With Venus leaving Cancer, it's super important to, of course, honor the past that built you, but now there is an emphasis upon building your future and knowing that surrendering into the present moment is the best way to do that. Because what I don't want you to do with Venus in Leo opposite Pluto is cast the worst case scenario on the future and allowing those fears to grab hold so much that you don't live in the now. It's really this energy around, this feels really good. And what if I had a life around this? And what if it looked like this? To launch out ideas and visions out into the universe and to call back any of your energy that you feel is very wrapped up in the past. We're being asked to empower ourselves this week as cosmic creators. And the past has already been created. It's like trying to paint on a finished painting. It's like, that's rude. There's nothing more to be added. Every part of the canvas has been utilized. It's already been created. This is a time to take the paintbrush in hand, to have the blank canvas before you of this particular moment, as well as what it is that you are feeling into for the future and design to envision. When we talk about Neptune energy, it's very visionary energy. It could be very spiritual. It could be very intuitive. It could be very delusional, but it's a soft aspect. So we probably won't get too much of the shadow side of Neptune. And with Uranus energy, it's daring to write a new story, daring to paint something different or in a different style than you've done before because it feels good, because it lights you up now. For some, there could be this energy around the past having grabbed hold of you around, well, I've always done this, so I have to keep doing this. Or nobody knows that I'm an artist, so it wouldn't really make sense to try to do that now. Or if I post this, people are going to be so confused because I've been this and that within the past. Do not allow the past to contain you any longer. Because when we talk about the fiery passion of Leo energy, that is living in the moment. That is being lit up when you take in art that just invigorates you. That is the joy of a child going down a slide. That is the energy of being on a date and touching the other person's arm because you're just like feeling it so much. Like that's the energy of Leo. And that's the sort of passion and enjoyment and fun and exhilaration that we really only find within the present moment, which is the most powerful way to call in, to manifest, to intention set what it is for our future. And I want to be so clear, my loves, the eclipse window is open. It is cracked open. Do you feel the eclipse season breeze? What I mean by that is we are currently building to next week's Pisces lunar eclipse. And with that, there is a tone of fate, divinity, and destiny in the air. And so it's not around getting super particular around this is exactly what it is that I desire, but really leaning into this North Node Pisces energy around what if it could be. This is a nudge around romanticizing your life, launching out rockets of desire and possibility to envision what it could be. Because in that space of dreaming, you are remaining optimistic. You are creating your life. Also knowing, with us being in this fated window of time, we are cosmic creators, but it's also time to see what the universe has been creating and designing for us. So it definitely is a delicate dance here. And I think with the energy of Uranus sextile Neptune, it's just envisioning what could be possible, what inventions could be possible, what ideas could be possible, what is lighting you up currently, while still allowing what is unfolding to unfold. I think the encouragement really is if you are someone who has been scared to live, scared to try, scared to risk, scared to try something new, scared to put yourself out there, scared to create. There is this energy around bringing yourself back into the present moment where fear does not exist and allowing yourself to view out the future around what if it could be. Because that can really help us if we feel like we've been stuck in rumination, obsession over the past. It can be so powerful to bring yourself back into the present moment, to envision what could be possible, and with it being eclipse season, to surrender at this time. Again, fear does not always exist when you are fully living within the present moment. And yes, there can be a nudge to future cast, to envision, to paint a daydream of your own desires, but it's also important to just surrender fully into this present moment and what your heart is saying now, what's lighting your heart up now, what's setting you on fire now. And so just as we do every single week, we will take a deep dive into everything you need to know about this astrology, the fated events of eclipse season, Mercury trining Chiron, Uranus sextile Neptune, Venus in Leo being the star of the show, and all of the Venus aspects, what this means for your love life, what this means for your social life, your bank account, your wardrobe, all of the things. We'll get into it. But before we do, we're going to need a beverage to do so. So take a step inside my cosmic cafe. Let me know what you are sipping on to start your week if you're creating a delightful beverage with all of this creative Venus and Leo energy. So, you know, the cosmos is heating up with Venus entering Leo, so I had to have a hot beverage myself. This is the Vivita, I believe it's called, coffee from Nespresso. It's infused with B12. So I was like, you know what? It's Virgo season. If I could get caffeinated to be productive while also getting some B12 in my coffee, I'm not against it. And I sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon in there, almond milk, and something that I've been doing lately that I would love to encourage you to do as well if you have a beverage in hand is speaking my affirmations into my coffee every morning before I drink it, and like really thinking of like sipping in that intention. I know this seems silly, but Virgo season reminds us there can be magic found within the mundane. And what I've been doing, and you're so welcome to do something different, but what I've been doing, and I think it's aligned with Venus and Leo, Leo is this energy of creativity and ego and identity and leadership. And so I've been really lit up lately by I am statements. So I'll grab my coffee and I'll say 2 or 3 statements that I feel are very true about me. So I am a dreamer. I am creative. I am an astrologer. Like things that you're like, yes, I completely relate to that. And then try on an I am statement that stretches you a little bit, that challenges you a little bit to absorb, to reach for something that could be true, but you are wanting to integrate more of. Leo energy brings up themes of confidence, and you need to know who it is that you are, shine out your light, know what it is that you want, know what it is that you deserve, know what it is that you're passionate about, and to contemplate, could this be true? Could I hold myself within that light? So maybe for you, you have a side business, but thinking of yourself as an entrepreneur, you're like, ooh, am I that? And it's like, wait, I am that. Maybe for you, you're a manager at work and that feels like a comfortable I am statement, but saying I am a leader, ooh, that feels a little uncomfortable. You know, there's elements this week around getting out of our comfort zone with a Venus opposite Pluto. So say your affirmations into your coffee. The one that's going to stretch my comfort level a little bit today, because it definitely can differ day to day. I've been doing this every day and I'm always shocked what just like comes to my mind immediately. Today, my I am statement that is stretching me a bit is I am a visionary. I feel like that's very aligned with Uranus and Gemini, sextile Neptune and Aries, and just how it is that we are envisioning possibilities for ourselves and for humanity as well. So cheers to that. I'm going to take a sip. Delightful. And putting cinnamon in your coffee is a life hack. If you know, you know. I also just want to make an announcement that this may be a record for my shortest Magic Monday ever. Typically, I'm in this cosmic corner of the internet yapping for hours, but my love, we simply do not have that luxury today. To be very, very, very honest with you, I have to leave for the airport in an hour and a half. And you might be saying, Haley, Comet, why on earth would you leave it to the last minute? And to that I say, I don't know. Why am I like this? I should have said into my coffee, I am on time. I am ahead of schedule, because that's a stretch. I don't even know if I'm able to relate with that, but it is something I'm working on. And I will say my ruling planet Mercury is clearing its post-retrograde shadow on Monday, August 25th. So there is this energy around moving forward. So maybe I'll be able to move forward. But just a heads up, if it's shorter than it typically is, I am under the clock. I'm on deadline. But let's go ahead and take it into our next segment of Magic Monday, Vibe Check of the Week. So Vibe Check of the Week is when we story tell with the stars. Very on brand for Venus in Leo, Mercury in Leo, finally clearing its post-retrograde shadow period. This is a hypothetical situation that we concoct in order to bring this astrology to life. So you can see how these energies may show up within your reality as you create and design your life. And this week's astrology feels like the following scenario. We will say you are single and ready to mingle. You're calling in love within your life. I saw a few comments on last week's Magic Monday when we were talking about the new moon and what new normal we were calling in, or what it is that we were intention setting around. And quite a few of you were calling in love and romance. And I was so excited for this week's episode to tell you that Venus is entering Leo. And it's a really great time around matters of the heart, matters of the art, and matters of the heart. And you are freshly recovering from a situation that left you feeling a little rejected, left you feeling a little hurt. Last week, Venus in Cancer squared Chiron in Aries, and part of you wanted to swear off love altogether. It didn't progress too far, it didn't get too serious, but you got your hopes up. And it's always so hard to get your hopes up. And it almost makes you, going into new environments and situations, not want to get excited, not wanting to feel that passion and that play within the present moment, because you're wanting to guard your heart, protect your heart. And again, living a life of self-preservation and protection oftentimes does lead you towards a lukewarm life. And like we were talking about earlier, you deserve so much more than a lukewarm life. You deserve things that you are steaming hot for. And it's not to say that we should not be intentional of our energy and who we share it with, but when you close yourself off from love, you miss out on love. And it's brought you into this energy where you're kind of scared going out on dates. You're scared to be too forward with your affections. You're scared to get excited. You're scared to have fun, because there is this fear of it all falling apart, as it has within your recent dating history. And we will say you decide to take a break from the apps. We'll say you've been swiping and having these particular experiences. And one night you go out with some of your friends and you get approached by someone incredibly attractive. And the two of you dance all night. The vibe is flirty. The vibe is fun. The vibe is passionate. And you just can't help it. You're feeling it. And this person is absolutely feeling you too. And it's making you feel all sorts of confident. You know that vibe? Have you been in a similar vibe like this when you're just like feeling it? You're feeling yourself, you're feeling this person, and there just gets to be this flirting flow state. We'll say, do any of you feel me? Flirting flow state where we're just so in the present moment, and just the banter is on point. The vibes are on point. The attraction is on point. The dancing is on point. The celebration is on point. And it's just a vibe. And who's to know where it's going? Can there be a possibility this week to really solidify something that has been ongoing, to really clarify what it is that you desire moving forward, to really build something solid with someone else, with Venus trining Saturn this week? Absolutely. But the vibe check isn't necessarily the energy around after this fun night out. You're like, I just met my wife. I just met my husband. I just met my partner. It's not to say necessarily that, maybe, but it's this energy around just surrendering to the present moment, around it was a fun night. And even having this sort of flirt situation reminds me, I am attractive. I am hot. I am loving. I deserve to be loved. I remember what it is that I deserve. And I also am open to experiences like this of having fun, and how freeing it can feel to surrender to the present moment, how freeing it can feel to just allow ourselves to be in love with the moment, and to feel the possibility of falling for someone, and to be romanced by life itself. You know, some of you are not necessarily single and ready to mingle, and these Venus aspects can absolutely absolutely play out in terms of your finances or other social situations. But there is an ask to really fall in love with life, as well as knowing that you deserve love. You deserve to be loved. The energy of Leo is associated with royalty, and it's holding yourself within high esteem. The reason the vibe check, this individual, this protagonist had recently been a little scarred is because we just had Venus in Cancer squaring Chiron. And sometimes when we're rejected, we feel disappointed. We feel like it's something wrong with us. And the energy of Venus in Leo is really around remembering who you are. And sometimes it just takes a night out, look and fly, to remember who you are. Remember, you are a catch. You are a freaking prize. I'm seeing a weird visual of being at a fair and the prize that takes a lot of tickets to win, at the very top. It's like a prize who's there and can't conceptualize that people have to have a certain amount of ticket. Oh my God, I just spilled on me. The chaos in this household is so real. Like the way I have to leave for the airport shortly. Whether those tickets are emotional intelligence or ambition or a caring, compassionate heart or being someone who is universally and spiritually ordained for you, sent by God. The prize at the top, who doesn't understand that, who doesn't conceptualize it, it's like everybody who comes up, they leave with that little plush fish at the very bottom. Why does everybody want the little plush fish and not want me? Meanwhile, the prize at the very top doesn't know, it's 3,000 tickets. In order to get to that, don't internalize these sort of things. Oftentimes, genuinely, rejection is the universe's protection. I know it hurts. I know it sucks. Venus in Leo is around remembering who you are. And it's beyond even just looking hot and feeling fly and dancing and celebrating. All of that absolutely can be helpful to getting your mojo back, getting your confidence back. But it's knowing the love that you give. It's knowing the light that you illuminate. It's knowing the way that you help out elderly individuals within your neighborhood. It's the way that you found that lost cat and returned it to its owner. It's the way that you smile at everyone. It's the way that you help your friends out when they're down. You deserve the love that you radiate out into the world. And if you've ever had a situation of somebody who just put you through nonchalant hell or made you feel less than or something like that, it's just knowing I deserve what it is that I put out. And I don't have to internalize if someone didn't have the tickets to cash in on my particular prize. Venus in Leo is around this, and it's a very heart-centered, generous, loving energy. And just that energy of being generous with your love, with your warmth. Again, with Venus and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius, some of you could feel this energy around, should I play it cool? Should I not text this person? Should I not act like I'm too into it? Very Pluto and Aquarius, all of these mind games. The vibe is either there or it's not. I'm a firm believer that the person that you are meant to be with, particularly romantically, will not put you through nonchalant hell or put you through mind games or having to run to AI to decode their text to you or anything like that. I'm a firm believer that your person would never put you through that. Venus in Leo is around really claiming and declaring what it is that you desire, what it is that you want. You're allowed to declare, my future wife would never do that. My future partner would never do that to me. Because a lot of times where that anxiety creeps in is there is this awareness around somebody withholding their affection. And again, Venus is entering Leo, the sign of the sun. It's hard to hide the sun's light. When it's warm, when it's there, it warms your entire being. And oftentimes when you feel like you have to match someone else around being a little bit more cold or dismissive or something like that, that takes away from you being able to shine within your authenticity, within your light, feeling like you have to be less of yourself in order to win this person their affection. Absolutely not. Venus and Leo is really declaring what it is that you desire and what it is that you deserve and not settling for less than that. Venus trining Saturn can be this energy around, this is the expectation, this is the standard, and I don't need to settle for less than that. For people who make me feel lit up within the present moment, people who make me feel safe to touch their arm or hug them or express my affection towards them or compliment them or things like this. This is going to differ person to person. This is just one storyline of how this could show up, but there's an energy to be warm, to be generous, to be loving, because that's who you are. And to avoid any sort of connection, friend or romantic, that makes you feel like you have to be less of who you are in order to have the privilege of orbiting through their solar system. You're the sun of your solar system. You get to decide the planets that you have within. And this is your life. You deserve a life in which you are passionate about. And those of you who are in long-term relationships, Venus and Leo can be this energy around breathing in some fun into the connection, some celebration into connection, some play into the connection, igniting that flirty vibe within it. Some of you could feel this within your own creative expression, creating something, even a new project. Mercury does clear its post-retrograde shadow this week. So there could be this energy around forward momentum, new ideas, new offerings for your business, new movie ideas, new song ideas. And again, allowing the present moment to be the catalyst of it, not around the past, around, oh, well, this flopped and this flopped, not around, oh, what if I continue flopping? This feels good. And I'm in the flow of the present moment, creating this and expressing myself and putting my own authenticity in this. There's a nudge this week around authenticity, just being who it is that you are, allowing your light to shine. That is really the secret sauce to attracting things within your life that are meant to be there. Again, you will never lose someone who is meant for you if you lose them by being yourself. Like, that's simply the universe protecting you from that particular person. Same goes with opportunities and projects and creative expressions. Being fully yourself is the best way to really filter out what is not for you. And again, Venus and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius, being fully yourself is a risk. People will hate, people will judge, people will maybe think it's cringe, but also people will be magnetized to it. People will be drawn to your glow. People who get you, celebrate you. I wish that everybody here had a YouTube channel. I know some of you do. I see some of your comments. Not that that needs to be the path for everybody, but just this process of showing up on YouTube has been so healing for me as someone who's been told that I'm very weird and out there my entire life, because I've learned that really the secret sauce is being myself. And I've had a lifetime of feeling like the secret sauce was pretending to fit in and to suppress who it is that I was, which is not a comfortable way to live, right? It's like the sun hiding itself with a cape. Like, we all lose out on that warmth and that glow. And that is a warmth and glow that we provide by being ourselves. Like, again, when someone is fully in their own authenticity, they free and inspire others to be fully within theirs as well. And just the journey of being on YouTube, the reason it's been very healing, there is a healing vibe this week with Mercury trining Chiron, is that through being seen by certain individuals, or even having certain elements of my own authenticity, my weirdness, my quirks be celebrated, and in fact finding more success the more that I actually took off the cape hiding my sun. It was very freeing. Like, authenticity really is the secret sauce. It will create a lot of energy of haters in your comments, or people who don't understand or think it's weird, but it is the secret sauce. So whether that's coming through within a flirty situation like the vibe check, whether that's coming through within a creative project, whether that's coming through within just designing your life at large and wanting to design a life that you are on fire about, remember, the most potent magic there is the magic of being you. So we're going to transition into our day-by-day analysis. I want to let you know that all times that I mention are PDT. Please adjust into your local time zone, wherever it is that you are located in the world. And let's go ahead and take it into the astrology for Monday, August 25th. So on Monday, August 25th at 9:27 a.m. PDT, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, money, leisure, enters Leo. And there is this desire to really express ourselves, to create, to indulge, to bask. There's a nudge around wanting to have fun, to enjoy this experience, and to share your joy with others, to share your love with others. You know, with the energy of Leo, your warmth, your glow can really impact other individuals. Sometimes sharing a compliment with someone can really make their day, and it might be kind of like a lot, or again, if we go based on this energy of risk and fear around, oh, is it weird to tell this person that they have beautiful eyes? But if it's genuine, if it's from the heart, you cannot lose by sharing more goodness out into the world or more love out into the world. There is an energy with the eclipse building, which PS, the lunar eclipse in Pisces video will be live on my channel this Friday. But there is an energy with it around recognizing that the big picture dreams that we have for the world around more love, more gratitude, more empathy, more understanding, we have an opportunity within the micro of our experience to be that, to embody that. If you want to see more kindness in the world, embody kindness within your community, within your small interactions. Give what it is that you would like to receive and don't hide it. If there's a genuine compliment that comes to your heart that you want to extend, say it. Hype other people up, bring more sunlight into this world. And again, with Venus building to oppose Pluto, there could be fear around, oh, am I being too much? Or living from the head. Venus and Leo is around getting into the heart. And other themes with Venus and Leo, you could definitely want to be seen with your lover. Again, this could be a great transit for date nights and dressing up and making life a big deal, because your life is a big deal. Like with Venus and Leo, wear the dress that you've been saving for a special occasion. Pop the champagne that you've been waiting for a special occasion. Life is a special occasion. So often we wait to live around, we'll wait for something special. Today is special. You are special. So with Venus and Leo, make little things a big deal. Plan a big date night, wear the dress, wear the heels, make your life more dramatic. It's yours to decorate. This is life decoration. But this energy can be a little extra. I will say that. So you can find you're wanting to order the finest of oysters when you go out, and you're wanting to buy the new dress and buy the hair extensions. Like, there definitely could be an energy around wanting to do life big. And sometimes that can impact our finances. Venus is around finances, but life is short. This could be a great transit to have a spontaneous date night, plan a spontaneous vacay, something like this. As I shared, I'm going to the airport shortly after this to visit family. And when I was getting ready this morning for Magic Monday, because, we're up against the clock, my mom called me, and there's a lot happening at large right now. And it's just creating a lot of changes of plans, and there are certain things that are pretty intense that are unfolding, which I won't go into the details here. But what I want to highlight is the changing of plans, and the intensity of what was happening sort of brought the spotlight around really wanting to seize the moment, like have fun while we have these moments to have fun, and to celebrate life while we have these moments to celebrate life. So my mom, who's getting me from the airport, was like, do you want to go to blank when I pick you up? And it's like this mountain town that's like around where we live. And I'm like, yes. So we're going to spontaneously plan a little overnight trip for me and my mom today. And I was like on the phone, like, heck yes, but I also have to pack and I have to film. So if you get an opportunity like that to do something a little spontaneous, to romanticize your life, to make your life a big deal, because it is, do it. Celebrate the present moment. Make your joy a priority. Oftentimes that's where it is that we are the most effective at manifesting or calling anything in, is when we are in love with the present moment, when we are having fun, when we are expressing ourselves. It's not to say that there's not intense things transpiring. Venus opposes Pluto. But if you are face to face with some of these Pluto themes, which can absolutely show up around fear of the future, or even in extreme cases, themes such as grief or preliminary grief, or being scared of passing away, scared of loss, things like that. I always say, if you understand death, you understand life. Because if you really see that we are no longer going to be here one day, you really seize the present moment, because you recognize these moments are precious. You could say it's just another Magic Monday, just another week, but this is a week that you are alive and you are breathing and you are you. Celebrate it. I also want to say, with Monday's astrology, Mercury clears its post-retrograde shadow. So this is forward momentum as it relates to our ideas, as it relates to our projects. So full green light, Mercury-wise, around if there are different creative projects that you want to brainstorm or to talk about or to collaborate with. Venus energy can be helpful for collaboration. Also on Monday, Venus will trine Saturn at 5:56 p.m. PDT. And this is an energy energy that is around solidifying and grounding what it is that we love. So the creative projects that we are collaborating around or brainstorming around, they could have legs. There could be a foundation. The person that we are flirting with, the person that we meet, there could be a stabilization of the future. There could be an energy of building something solid for the future. Yes, Venus and Leo can be extravagant sometimes financially, but with the trine to Saturn, there is also this energy around wanting to be pragmatic around, okay, let's have a date night. You know, the kids have been stressing us out. Let's do something fun. But maybe with the energy of Venus and Leo trining Saturn, you can find a happy hour where you can still be extravagant and order lots of things, but in a more budget savvy way. Something like this could be alive. Or if there's like a important future-oriented conversation that you need to have with your partner around, we need to talk about getting new sliding glass doors. We need to talk about this particular goal of ours. It might be nice to do it on a little staycay or at a dinner where it's like, yes, we have to talk about these lifey things that aren't always so enjoyable to talk about, but at least we're celebrating and having fun as we do it. There can also be a nudge of this. And even outside of partnership with Venus and Leo trining Saturn and Aries, it can be a great time to think about your finances and what you're spending money on and wise usages of your money and investments and things like this. There also could be an energy around not waiting to live. I know I talk about the extravagance sometimes of Venus and Leo, but you do not need to spend a lot of money to be extravagant. You know, I've been vocal that pretty much everything that you see me wear is thrifted or given to me by a friend. And I want to be very clear on that because I'm adamantly against fast fashion. And I want to be very clear on that just because I know that you see me wear a lot of different clothes. And it's not that I'm running out to go buy a new outfit every single week for Magic Monday. I'm all around putting my money towards things that stand the test of time. And to me, if something's thrifted and something is still together, that indicates that it is sturdy. It's not like something that'll fall apart in the washes if it's lived through multiple owners. And I think that is where style blooms oftentimes. You know, we can think, oh, if I only had more money to buy this new outfit and this piece of jewelry and what have you. But I think style is really around how it is that you express yourself with what it is that you have. And style is in the eye of a beholder. I think it's a particular magic when you can go to a thrift shop and find certain pieces and style it together to make it look cool. To me, that's more impressive than someone who spends $3,000 on a trendy new outfit. So it's also knowing you can express yourself with what it is that you have at your disposal. Like I said, I rarely shop, I thrift, and I have a lot of different ways that I try to like breathe new life into certain clothes. So with dresses, sometimes I'll wear them as shirts. With skirts, I'll wear them as tube tops. Scarves, I'll wear them as shirts. Like it really is around expressing yourself with what it is that you have. And that's an art. Even if you don't consider yourself a very creative person, you create your life, you create your style, you decorate your life, you decorate how you spend your days. You don't need a ton of money to celebrate life. This could also be taking a blanket to the park and bringing a cup of hot tea and reading under the sun and like romanticizing your life, making these little moments a big deal. Moon-wise on Monday, we start the day with a Virgo moon. The moon then enters Libra around 7 a.m., which draws our awareness to connection, to collaboration. There could be a little bit of Monday stress or just you're running late, you're trying to film and someone's vacuuming outside your house. Do you guys hear that? I'm so sorry if this week's Magic Monday is so chaotic. There is a lot going on. I'm allegedly going to this mountain town tonight. There's someone vacuuming outside. I have 30 minutes until this person picks me up. I hope I'm not stressing anybody out. Sometimes I think when things get stressful, when there's constriction, restriction, sometimes it provides and presents new opportunities for creation. When there's not as much, money at your disposal, it makes you really work with what you got, which to me is where style blooms, is around where it is that you have a creative eye in order to take things that you already have and make it seem different or make it express a certain emotion that you're feeling that day. Sometimes when we're experiencing restriction around our schedule, sometimes we just have no choice but to be so in the present moment and to just create and express ourselves the best that we can under these circumstances. I mentioned that just because the Libra moon opposes Saturn, so that could come in the way of you're running late, you get a hard email, you're just not in the mood even. With the energy of the moon in Libra, it does trine Uranus. And again, you could be fantasizing, visualizing being anywhere but here with the energy of the Libra moon opposite Neptune. Some of you, because Venus enters Leo around this time, could be like, Haley, I want to have fun and celebrate and express, but I have this job, I have to clock in. There could be an energy around envisioning, imagining, or romanticizing your life, romanticizing your breaks, romanticizing your lunch breaks, looking for the beauty all around you, finding excuses to celebrate, finding excuses to hype up your coworkers or those that you're around, share a genuine compliment, extend gratitude for something that was done for you, see where it is they could breathe in a spirit of fun into meeting something like this. The Libra moon also trines Pluto and Aquarius, so definitely embolden weird ideas, whether it's in the meeting or in the group. You never know where it could grow, and Mercury is out of its post-retrograde shadow, so you have full permission around new visions, new ideas, new conversations. On Tuesday, August 26th, Venus is the star of the show and making all sorts of aspects, 3 of which occur today. So here's what Venus is up to. Firstly, Venus sextiles Uranus, which is around novelty, originality, or newness as it relates to your fashion, as it relates to your money, as it relates to your love life and your social connections. So even knowing it could just be a night out or it could be something new, and breathing in that spirit of what could happen. Venus sextile Uranus could even be this energy around saying yes to someone who's outside of your typical type. Like this individual that you meet at the bar isn't somebody that you would typically swipe on, but the vibe is there. The chemistry is there. They look different than the people you typically go for. They have a different occupation than the people you typically go for, but chemistry can't be faked, right? It just cannot be faked. And sometimes it's there with someone that you would not anticipate it or expect it to be with. And with Venus sextile Uranus, it's also breathing in inspiration around your finances that is savvy, that is thinking long-term, with Venus having trine Saturn, but thinking of new ideas or a new possibility. If you have a business, a new income stream, or a new way of partnering, or a new distributor, or something like this, or even if you're unsatisfied with work, what would be something that I would love doing that I would want to invite in finances around? There could be a very soft sprinkle. Keep in mind, sextiles are very, very subtle. And there is an energy of dreaming, of envisioning, of romanticizing. Venus in Leo trines Neptune in Aries. This life is your canvas. Design it, create it. You can romanticize anything. I had jury duty on Monday, hence why I'm so behind. Shout out to anybody who works in that sort of environment. I was in khakis and a blazer, like Haley Comet in khakis and a blazer. I just was just not feeling like myself. And the environment was quite drab. It was a lot of beige. This is not me critiquing my local courtroom. I'm just saying, legal environments, it's just not always the most vibrant of an environment. But I was like, you know what? This is a day. I'm giving my time here. I'm going to make this fun. And it just so happens I live in a really cool city. So during the lunch break, got to walk over to the pier and eat lunch right along the pier and walk along the water. I was like, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to romanticize my life. Because it's my life. If I have to be at jury duty, I'm going to do whatever I can to make it feel a little bit more fun. And definitely it can be beautiful to romanticize someone, to idealize someone, to get in that energy around what could this be? But there is this energy of surrender because Venus opposes Pluto later on today, which could be this energy. Where's this going to go? Is this my future partner? Is this meant to be? And there's just an energy around having to let it go, having to let it be, to surrender fully and completely to the present moment, which can be a risk. With Venus opposite Pluto, it could be fearing the future. It could be this energy around fearing falling in love, being in that precipice around, should I go deeper? Should I open my heart to be hurt again? Or should I not? There could be an energy like that alive here. Other than that, the moon's in Libra all day long, aligns with Mars in the morning time, could be great for a workout, doing something physical to blow off some steam, so to speak. And then the Libra moon sextiles Mercury and Leo in the evening time. So really aligned time to collaborate with other individuals, knowing that not everybody will get it like you do. Not everybody has a heart that you do, passions that you do, but it can be possible to brainstorm, to work together. On Wednesday, August 27th, I want to let you know that Venus opposite Pluto happened very late last night. So you could absolutely feel shades of that build on Tuesday and on Wednesday as well. Fear of the future that's taking away from your present moment, or even just being very tapped into the collective and what humanity is going through at large that makes you feel guilty or selfish for having fun, for romanticizing your life. Like, why should I get to have joy if there's so many people who are suffering? And it's not around negating that. It's not around denying that or avoiding that. It's knowing that you sinking to a level of despair does not do anything good for anyone who is suffering or in pain. It's just adding more despair and pain to this world. And if anything, you being within your light, you being within your joy, your radiance, that's where it is that you can make an impact. That's where it is that you can inspire others. That's where it is that you can breathe hope and joy into other people's lives, even if it's just a random heartfelt compliment. And for some of you, it could absolutely feel like this romantic anxiety, like even if you're in a marriage and a partnership, around fearing, what if we don't make it? What if it doesn't work out? What if this happens? What if? Those what if fears of the future steal from your present moment and the joy of the present moment. Allow your affirmation to be this eclipse season and this day. I'll see how I feel when I get there. You just have to go based on what's feeling good now, because we do not know what the future has in store, and we're going to lose our minds trying. And with Wednesday's lunar energy, the moon starts the day in Libra. For most of the day, the moon's in Libra. It opposes Chiron midday, which could be ouches. Again, within the vibe check, you flirting and dancing and having fun with this person, but still fantasizing around, ooh, what if this person rejects me? Like that last person rejected me. And it's important to just know which system you're operating out of. Are you operating out of the most empowered version of yourself, who knows that you deserve love and knows what it is that you want in love? Or are you operating out of the wounded part of you, who is allowing this person to dictate your worth or dictate your value or even your confidence? Venus opposite Pluto could be an invitation to reclaim your power, call your power back, and you can nurture and pour into those parts of you that have felt hurt, while also not allowing that to be the primary operating system for your life. Moon enters Scorpio at 6:27 p.m., going off with Pluto in the evening time at 10:10 p.m. So your emotions could feel really intense. Again, Pluto energy could really ramp up existential dread, fear of the future, fear of what could be, fear of what it is that you could lose. And wherever possible, call back your energy, call back your power, reclaim your energy in the present moment. Your power is in the present moment. We don't do any good ruminating on the past. We don't do any good fearing the future. Bring it back to the present moment. On Thursday, August 28th, at 5:09 p.m., Uranus in Gemini will sextile Neptune in Aries. And I want to let you know, this energy is available, accessible, and alive beyond just Thursday, August 28th. We have access to the energy this entire week, as well as it separates as well. And it's a soft flow of energy. It's these two planets linking up. Neptune is around envisioning. It's also very connected to compassion. And Uranus is around novelty, newness. So some of you might get an idea that fundamentally could help people, like at large. Like Neptune energy is really feeling for people, feeling for causes. And with the energy of Uranus, it's contemplating, what if this could exist? What if an organization like this could exist? What if an idea like this could exist? And we typically are not in that space to envision new opportunities when we are in a super low vibration of feeling just like utter despair and hopelessness. To dream of new ideas, to create new ideas, fundamentally asserts some level of optimism, some level of belief that things could get better, that we can help humans. And so it's even just setting that intention around, what is my why? Where do I want to make a difference? How did the universe design me to help out within this particular time on planet Earth with the particular themes that are alive currently? Neptune energy can get very mystical that way. So some of you could even be learning about some facet of your chart that makes you excited about the future and what you want to do with it, or learning about some element of your human design, or even just having some idea for an invention or an organization that can make a difference. It's bold in a time like this to be a dreamer, to have a dream, and to even birth visions out into the world via your words, via your ideas, via your sharing, connecting, and collaborating with the energy of Uranus and Gemini. And with Neptune and Aries, a lot of people will think you're a little crazy. I'm thinking of that quote around the people who think they are crazy enough to change the world are the people who do. And Venus in Leo is around remembering who it is that you are. If there's an energy around, I couldn't possibly, and what could I do? I'm just one person. Why not you? Why could you not help lead and support? We need leaders. We need visionaries. We need creators within this time of life. Why can it not be you? Especially if you feel the call, especially if you feel the inspiration. This is soft flow of energy, but one that I deeply encourage you to grab hold of, especially look where Neptune and Aries is transiting within your chart and Uranus and Gemini is transiting within your chart. I'll drop both those videos below. Other than that, the moon in Scorpio creates a T-square between that Venus opposite Pluto energy. So there could be this energy around fear of the future, fear of getting too close, fear of going deep, or really desiring deep intimacy, but also being scared of what it could entail. You know, life is a risk. Keeping your heart closed is a risk. Opening up is a risk. And it's knowing even if you've been disappointed, even if your heart has been broken, Pluto energy reminds us our resilience, that you can always pick yourself back up again. And it's such a gift, honestly, to have time on this planet and experiences on this planet, because it reminds us this does pass. I was down bad about this situation and it got better. I had my heart broken here and I evolved and kept going. Even if you're currently in a situation where you're hurting, you're going through it, reminding yourself of the past times that you picked yourself back up again can give you the courage to keep on keeping on. And that energy kind of exacts the night before and this morning. So you could just kind of feel that build in the air midweek. And then the Scorpio moon does sextile the Virgo sun at 5:27 a.m. So if you are feeling the existential dread or intensity, ground into your present moment. What's one thing that you could do today that your future self will thank you for? If you're feeling anxiety and all over the place, clean your house. Wash your makeup brushes, go for a walk, get some sunshine, meal prep, do something to set yourself back in a more positive trajectory and momentum, because it's all too easy in those moments to allow the doom or the fear to consume us. And it's just important to observe when you feel yourself going there and be like, okay, what's one thing I could do to disrupt this trajectory? What's one thing I can do for myself, for my body, for my pets, for my house, for my fridge? On Friday, August 29th, I want to let you know, firstly, today's the day that my Pisces lunar eclipse video is live on the channel. So you'll want to check out your individual lunar eclipse reading to see which territory of your chart and thus your life the eclipse next week is stirring up and bringing to the surface. You can check that out. But other than that, the moon is in Scorpio all day long, trines Jupiter in the morning time. So even though Scorpio moon is feeling everything intensely, with the trine to Jupiter, it's around, okay, what do I deeply care about and how can I help? How can I support? How can I create more of the depth that I'm craving or move towards the depth that I'm craving? The Scorpio moon does square Mercury in the evening time, so there could be clashes, a little bit of stubborn energy, or even just like indecision around, I want to do this, but I should do this. But the moon is void after that point, so take the pressure off around feeling like you have to do anything too productive besides watching my lunar eclipse in Pisces video. That is productive. If you're getting plugged in on the cosmos, that is productive. On Saturday, August 30th, the moon enters Sagittarius around 7 a.m. in the morning, building to the first quarter Sagittarius moon this evening. First quarter moons are called crisis of action lunar phases, and there can be a little bit of a conflict between the maintenance and the dialing into the little things while honoring the big picture vision. It's a lot to take something from a thought to a thing or a vision into a reality. It's a lot. And the ask is to not be so overwhelmed by that task that you don't try, don't dream, anything like that. There also could be an energy around taking a risk, going in a direction of faith, or because it feels right. And the energy of the Virgo sun could be pointing out all the details around where it could go wrong. But there is a nudge this week around what if it could go right? I don't want to be at the end of my life knowing that I never tried, that I never dared, that I never dreamed. And so there can be a nudge in big ways or small ways that you feel inspired to move towards a new direction, a new horizon, a new trip, a new vision, something like this, or that you are courageous enough to follow your arrow, to live within your truth. And the moon's in Sag all day long, trining Saturn and Neptune. So there's visionary energy, absolutely, but also solidifying energy. The moon opposes Uranus, so you could go through some emotional ups and downs or just have unexpected events that transpire. The Sag moon will also sextile Pluto, trine Venus, so it's also living within your truth and knowing doing just that attracts other people who are living within theirs. Just be mindful that evening around not feeling torn in too many different directions or trying to be perfect. Being perfect is boring. Be you. On Sunday, August 31st, I want to share firstly that Mercury in Leo trines Chiron in Aries midday. And this is an energy around healing of your mindset or your mentality, where within the vibe check, it's not that the vibe check was around, I found the love of my life dancing sweaty at a bar one night. Like, it's not saying that at all, but there were elements of it that were healing around, oh, it's possible for me to have chemistry with someone. It's possible for me to feel attractive. It's possible for me to feel desired. It's possible for me to find love. And allowing that to be the new mentality, the new narrative that you infuse within your mind. And even if it has nothing to do with love, because Mercury in and of itself is not about that, it can be around really wanting to invigorate and enliven thought forms and patterns that are supportive of you, supportive of your confidence. If you do not hold yourself in high esteem, nobody else will. And people will be all too easy to take advantage of you not seeing your worth. And it starts with how you talk to yourself. It starts with how it is that you frame certain problems and trials and tribulations within your world. And the trine to Chiron is not denying or negating what's painful, what's hard, maybe still feeling a little bit of that sting of rejection, but also knowing that's not the operating system that I'm looking out at my life with or from. Other than that, the moon is in Sagittarius, sextiling Mars and Libra. So great day to follow the nudge of where you feel guided, where you feel motivated, where you feel inspired, and allow that to lead you. So my loves, we have done it. My airport ride is going to be here in 8 minutes. Like, talk about down to the wire. I am so sorry for anyone I stressed out. I know it's Virgo season, but strangely doing it in a shorter amount of time really made me lock in and get the information out. So I hope that did not feel rushed. My deepest apologies. I've had many a trial and tribulation as of late recording, but I'm just so grateful to spend time with you. And I deeply enjoyed it. I was like so in the present moment. I obviously was conscious of the time, but I did not let that fear of, what if I don't get done in time, overtake me? Which is kind of the vibe of Venus and Leo. Be fully in the present moment. So the Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I design and create a passionate life. Build a world around what sets your heart on fire. It is magnetic when you are lit up, when you are enthusiastic. And that can be contagious. That can get other people excited. Like I said earlier around authenticity, somebody living within their truth, wearing the clothes that they want, doing their makeup in the way that they want, having their expression in the way that they want, inspires and empowers others to live in theirs. And absolutely, will some people think your paisley dress is weird or think that it's strange that you are creating the sort of content that you are online? Absolutely. Do not allow the fear of the haters keep you from the lovers of the world. Because love is alive. There are lovers in this world. People who will love your art, people who will love your spirit, people who will love your soul. And to attract love, be love, create a life you love, create a life built around things that you love. Hype up and share your love and appreciation for other people that you love. This world needs more love within it. And because of that, our emoji of the week is going to be the heart emoji, whichever of your favorite heart emoji that you like, or use the word heart in a sentence if you do not have emojis. I'll see you again next week, same time, same place. And until then, drink lots of water and stay magical.